for coming to our presentation on Wayfarer sailing. You can see by the slide up there that I'm really in last year. No, it's just, we left that slide up because I just wanted to show you that the Wayfarer class has been established and been around for 60 years. And it's amazing that a class that has been around for 60 years is still thriving. People are still very much enjoying Wayfarer sailing and all the different aspects that I'm about to talk to you about. Can everybody hear me okay? Can you hear me at the back? Thank you. So the Wayfarer was originally designed by Ian Proctor in 1958, and he was given the task of designing a boat that was an all-rounder, a boat that could be sailed by a family, a boat that could be raced, a boat that could be trailed, that taken to different places and sailed in the sea and sailed on lakes and rivers and all of that sort of thing. So there's the original prototype boat sailing along there. And if you count all the heads in the boat, it's a lot of people in one boat, but they're all sailing along. And the guy at the helm there was an Olympic helmsman, and he was trying out that boat. And they succeeded in making a really nice boat because it's still around now. So very much an all-rounder, a boat for kids, a boat for adults, a boat for grandparents, and a boat for learning in. If I had €1 for, or £1 even, for every person who I've met at the show here who told me they learned to sail in a Wayfarer, I'd be going home rich, because the number of people who've learned in a Wayfarer is really, really fantastic. It's such a stable boat, it's a very easy boat to manage, it's a very easy boat to teach people in. So you have young kids in the boat, and you've got then people who take the boat at racing and take their racing very seriously as well. So in the Wayfarer we've got, at the moment, there's a Wayfarer over there in the heart of the boat stand. They're the people who make the boat. They make it here in the UK in Derby. And the number on the boat that's on the stand over there is 11262. That means that more than 11,000 Wayfarers are out there that are being sailed around the world. It started with a Mark 1, we're now on a Mark 4. So all the time little improvements, little tweaks have been made to the boat to help the performance and the ease of sailing and the ease of maintenance as well. So it's really suitable for training, for teaching people, but it's where the Wayfarer kind of comes into its own is in cruising. If you go into the Palm Court corridor down there, you can see the Wayfarer Class Association have a stand there. There's a cruising boat there. It's absolutely beautiful. You have a look at that. It's a Mark 1 and it's got a wooden deck. It's absolutely gorgeous. Worthwhile having a look. And on that stand, there's demonstrations throughout the day of how you can put a tent onto your Wayfarer. You can go camping in the Wayfarer. So go sail somewhere really remote and put the tent up and stay the night on the stars. Absolutely fantastic. So it's a really good boat for people who are learning because it's so stable and there's plenty of room to move around, and you can be on the wrong side of a Wayfarer and the boat isn't going to turn up, capsize on you. It's good for intermediate, but it's also good for people who are very advanced sailing, who want to take their sailing to the next level, who want to go on extreme cruising or want to go racing with it as well. When we talk about cruising is any kind of sailing that you're doing that isn't basically racing. So it's non-competitive. So you can go in cruising just down in your local lake or down the river or offshore, or you can go more extreme cruising where you would go maybe with, say, the Wayfarer Association or with your club, and you could go on with a purpose. You could maybe go for a cruise around the Isle of Wight, or you could go, with a group leader who would show you how to cruise. And the Wayfarer Association as well has cruising conferences where people come together to share their information and their skills to people who have less experience. And it's a great way of sharing knowledge and learning about how to make the best of your boat and how to cruise well. So you can cruise in company, you can go on a rally where lots of people meet in one area, and the locals in that area then show you around that area and help you to get the best out of your boat. We have racing at local level in your club. We have racing at national level. So we have a circuit that goes all around the UK. In particular, there's a national circuit which has 6 races arranged during the year. People travel to those events. And then we have international events, so you can go to another country and race a Wayfarer there as well. And we have different kind of adventure cruising, so you can go up in your Wayfarer, you can do loads of different things. Because it's such a versatile boat, you can as I said, you can go just for a day, or you can go for a week. Or there was a lovely lady yesterday, Greta Perlman. She came to the Wayfarer AGM. This lady is going to be 100 years old in May, and she's a Wayfarer sailor. She told us a great story yesterday about how herself and her husband, after the Second World War, they decided the Wayfarer would be a good way of bringing together people whose lives had been really disrupted during the war, trying to get people to understand and meet each other. They did that in dinghy sailing. They went to Eastern Europe. For 9 weeks, they sailed in the Wayfarer, and she said, that's a really good test of a lot of things. You spend 9 weeks in a Wayfarer with one other person. So we all had a good chuckle at that. But 100 years old, so I think Wayfaring keeps you young as well. Sailing keeps you young. So you can sail, as I said, you can sail with one other person, or you can sail with many other people. And the current Wayfarer is has a certification, C certification, so a safety certification for 6 people. So you can take up to 6 people in the boat, so you can go with your family, you can go with your friends, you can go with your dog, you can go anywhere with a Wayfarer. It's a very versatile boat. And you don't have to be in a club, you don't have to be in an association, but it's a very good way, being in the Wayfarer Association is a very good way to learn from other people, learn from other people's experiences, and maybe do the things they've done, or maybe not do the things that they've done. Because maybe you can learn from what they've done, where their adventures, and maybe not make the same mistakes as others have made, or maybe do some, might spur you on to do some things like that. The UKWA is the United Kingdom Wayfarer Association, and it covers both the United Kingdom and Ireland. So you've probably detected from now that I'm not from the United Kingdom, I'm from Ireland, but I'm part of the UKWA as well. And I'm also part of the Wayfarer International Committee. So the WIC is made up from representatives from all around the world who sail the Wayfarers and put on different international events. So it allows people to share their experiences together in international events. The great thing about the boat is it's really a confidence-building boat. And you can see on the top left-hand side there, there's a load of kids in the boat having a good time. But on the bottom side there, you might recognize somebody in that photograph, but I'm there with 2 of my friends. One is from America and one is from Ireland. Both of those ladies in the boat, one of them we were on a holiday, that was in Greece, that picture was taken, and we were sailing the Wayfarer there in Greece. One of those ladies is 70 years old, not me, and one of those ladies there, the lady at the helm, her name is Audrey, and she was celebrating her 60th birthday. She'd never been in a dinghy before. And by the time we'd sailed across that bay, she was helming that Wayfarer. And it was 60 years old to step into a Wayfarer and sail away, step into any boat. And the boat, to give you enough confidence to take the helm and sail away, that's a pretty special boat. Some of the people that take their Wayfarer cruising very seriously do some amazing things in their Wayfarer. This Wayfarer here belongs to a gentleman called Ralph Roberts. And Ralph is an adventure cruiser, like some others, but not like anyone here at the moment. He's just an extreme cruiser, and he does the most amazing things. And if you go down to the Wayfarer stand, you can meet Ralph Roberts. And he took his boat on a little sail from right here in London, and he sailed all the way to Helsinki in that boat, and a lot of it alone. So there he is at the beginning, going under the entire bridge, and then he's at the end there. He's in a lovely little cove in Helsinki. So, more power to you, hats off to Ralph, who can do that sort of sailing. And Ralph's not 21 anymore either, and in fact he's still able to sail his cruise, his Wayfarer, all over the place. And he organised a rally this year in Norfolk. We went to the Norfolk Broads, and Ralph took us all and showed us all around the Norfolk Broads. And so he's a powerful man sailing and cruising his Wayfarer in these fabulous adventures. The Wayfarer Association organises every year a gathering for families, and it's in Ullswater, and it's during the summer holidays. And the idea of that is that lots of people come together, and kids in particular is a great way to introduce kids to sailing, because they're there with other kids and they're dressing up as pirates, and they're having fun, and they're building boats and building rafts and all sorts of stuff. And people come back year after year after year. People who no longer have Wayfarers still go to the Ullswater gathering. There's now grandparents there, and their kids and their grandkids all going on the Wayfarers. It's an absolutely fabulous way. So it's a great introduction for kids to sailing. There's a gentleman standing at the back of the room there with a camera in front of him, and I think he's in this picture here with a nice pink shirt on. This his back to the camera. And that's adventure cruising of different style. That's up in Scotland, and this is a day where it was a little bit Scottish in the weather there. A day like today might be this afternoon. In fact, I heard it's going to be quite rough. So they got a little bit wet, so they had to spend a couple of days there waiting for the wind to dry all their clothes and get them back. The following day then they went into this marina, and like Scotland is sometimes, the sun comes out and it's absolutely beautiful, and here they are in a just idyllic setting there. It's like an oil painting, and we're all having a great day. So you have good days and you have bad days when you're cruising, but if you're going to be in a bad day, be in a Wayfarer, so you've got plenty of space in your Wayfarer there to dry your other stuff. This is a lovely picture taken in Greece, and this is sailing with an asymmetric spinnaker. So the Wayfarer can have a symmetric spinnaker, or you can sail 1, 2 or 3 sails. And this one is with an asymmetric spinnaker. So you can be nice and lazy and have an asymmetric spinnaker, and you don't want to have all the complications of a symmetric spinnaker for cruising. It's particularly nice. And here we are again. You can do your fair weather sailing, you can do your extreme stuff. So if you don't want to go to Scotland and try out the wet weather gear, you can go somewhere like this. This is in the Mediterranean, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Here we are again, just having a fun sail in Funaki in Greece. This is a picture of somebody standing in front of you who was sailing. We went on the Shannon River in Ireland, which goes from the extreme north of Ireland right down to the south of Ireland. It goes down the middle of Ireland, and we did a series of races. So it's called a raid. So a raid, you can sail your boat, you can row your boat, you can paddle your boat, you can do what you like. It's like point-to-point races. So there were 11 races over a week, and we sailed all the way down. And if there was something interesting, like a nice castle or a monument or a pub, then we would stop and we'd end the race there, and go in and have lunch in the pub, and then go back out again, start the race again, off we went. It was absolutely brilliant. But there were about 49 boats, I think, in that, nearly 50 boats in it. And I sailed that Wayfarer. That's a cruising Wayfarer, and I raced the cruising Wayfarer, put a spinnaker on them, and we won 7 of the 11 races outright, but we won every single race in that whole series on handicap. So we beat every single. You see all the other boats are miles behind. That Wayfarer just took off, and we had a blast. And we camped along the way, and it was just fantastic. So, you know, it's another kind of adventure sailing. It's fun. Here we are. This is an international rally, again organised by one of our sister groups in Holland. And we went to Holland. We slept on a barge, and during the day we sailed. And then the barge took all of our camping gear and all of our stuff on the barge. And during the day we just sailed along and just had a good time. And the idea of a rally is, well, you swap boats and you jump in and change, and you know, swap company, and that's so you're changing around and meeting other people from different countries. And that boat, the red boat in front, is from Denmark, and the blue boat behind, that's my boat from Ireland. The blue boat in the middle was from the UK, and the white boat on the other side is from Holland. So you can see there that there was 29 boats there, and we were all having an absolute ball. In Holland, it was really fun as well. Sometimes you had to go underneath bridges, and the Wayfarer is really good for this because it has a pin in the mast, and it allows you to put the mast down, and you can shoot the bridge. You just go underneath the bridge and pull the mast back up again and sail away. And sometimes in Holland, they have this fantastic system where the boat is king, particularly the sailing boats. And in this area in Friesland, they had a little man sitting in that booth up there, and he had a wooden clog, and it was on like a fishing line. And as you came along, all the boats got ready, and then they stopped all the cars, and then he'd lift up the bridge, he'd swing out his little fishing line with the wooden clog, you put your €2 in, and he went on. So it was like the toll to get through the bridge, and I just thought that was so cool that the boat was king. Here we are. This is on the barge. We're on a sailing barge and a motor barge. It was accommodation, and then you can see all the boats there. So it was just absolutely super. This is another international rally I went to, and that was in Lake Ontario, and the place was called the Great Bear National Park, and absolutely champagne sailing. The water was crystal clear and warm, and it was like force 3 to 4 all the time. It was just like happy days. So when I go to that great place in the sky, that's where I'm going. You know, I have my spot picked out there. And it was like absolute heaven. So there was some interesting creatures there. We were camping on land, and I saw some signs, and it said, "Be careful of the snakes. And I go, woo, oh no, not snakes. And then I saw another sign and said, be careful of the bears. And I said, oh, maybe I don't really like being on the land in my tent. So I put the tent back onto the boat, and don't think the bears like coming in the water, so I felt safer that way. But it was really amazing. So we had everything with snakes and turtles and ospreys. It's cool. That was in 2013. Last year, or the year before last year, 2017, I went back to Canada, and then we went over to the USA, and we sailed on the St. Lawrence River. And again, champagne sailing, absolutely beautiful. The river was in flood, and it was just so beautiful to be able to go around and sail around all these islands. The 1,000 Islands, it's called the area where the dressing comes from. And we sailed all around there, and we just absolutely had a fantastic time. The following week, then we went back to Toronto, and we sailed in the North American Championship. So we sailed the same boats in the rally, sailing and cruising, and then we went to the North American Championship, and we raced there. And it was really windy that week, and I was in my element because they don't like the wind, but we get lots of wind in Ireland, so happy days back on the podium. So that was good. This is an international rally that we had in Ireland in 2015, and again this was on part of the Shannon. It was in a place called Loch Derg, and we went there and we checked out some of the pubs and other hostelries there, so it was really good. So a lot of boats came over for that. It's not all about sailing. In the evening time we like to gather and do some singing and dancing, and here we have some Danish sailors, and they have a group called the Wayfarer Stompers, and they bring along their instruments and they play at the various events. So this was in the United States, and they were teaching us how to do some hula dancing, Hawaiian hula and ukulele stuff, and it was really fun. It was completely different. I had never tried hula dancing, and I will never try it again, but it was fun that night, but it definitely wasn't strictly. So this is my favourite part of sailing, is racing, and I race all year round. In fact, I race during the winter as well. I'm very lucky to be able to race in a harbour in Ireland, in Dún Laoghaire, and if it wasn't for the big gale out there today and for this, I would be normally out there on Sunday today. Now the system has broken down, so here we go. Every year the Wayfarer Association puts together a calendar, and what we try and do is get all the events around the country and around the world and put them onto that calendar so that people can know what's happening, find out in advance and make their plans and go and attend some of those events. So each year we try and make the calendar a little bit different and put in new events and new things for people to try. This year our big event is going to be in my home club in Ireland, in Greystones, and we're going to have the UK Nationals, the Irish Nationals and the International Championships all rolled into one for a week in July. So from the 22nd to the 26th of July, we're going to invite everybody over to Ireland to have a really good time racing. But the racing is, we have in the Wayfarer fleet, we try and have a gold fleet, we have a silver fleet, we have a bronze fleet. So the gold and silver fleet are pretty serious about the racing, and the bronze fleet are more serious about the ice cream and things like that. So with the bronze fleet, you don't have to do as many races, and we organise some people to take the boats off to go to other places, and so they might do some of the races and they might do a bit of cruising at the same time. So if anybody wants to come, find out what sailing's like in Ireland, to come talk to me afterwards and I'll tell you all about it. So that's it. There we are. That is my daughter and her dog enjoying a little bit of after sailing time. Sometimes she brings the dog on the boat and we go for a little family sail, and there we are just putting the boats to bed, and that's what we're going to do with the presentation. So thank you very much for your attention, and if anybody has any questions I'm happy to answer.